Hey there pen fans, I'm Brian Goulet of GouletPens.com, and today I'm going to be giving you a sneak peek at one of the LAMY All-Star special editions for summer of 2025. This pen is called Dark Dusk. Now they've been rolling out the All-Star special editions for a number of years now, and this year they're doing another pair, Mint and Dark Dusk. I cover the Mint in a separate video, so make sure to go check that one out if you haven't already. Now you may be asking yourself, isn't there already a Dark Dusk LAMY pen? Yes, you're correct. They came out with one in a Safari version earlier this year, and they do look a bit different in color, so I'm going to show them side by side later in this video. Now the All-Star is like a classed up version of the popular LAMY Safari, with the biggest difference between the two being that the pen body and the cap are going to be made of aluminum on the All-Star instead of the plastic on the Safari. Now all dimensions and features of this special edition are going to be similar to all the other All-Stars, so if you're familiar with them, you know kind of what you're in for here. They're going to be great pens for pen users of all levels of experience, and I personally am a big fan of the All-Stars, and I like this one in particular because of how sharp it looks with all the dark features and the somewhat kind of matte looking finish that the anodized aluminum provides. Dark Dusk is a deep blue color that it leans a bit purple, so it's a pretty unique among the All-Stars. Nothing else looks quite like it. And it reminds me of that period in the late evening as the sun sets just below the horizon and there's like barely any light left before it goes into like the deep black of night. And perhaps there's like a faint moonlight that gives that like slight dark blue hue to the sky. That's kind of what it reminds me of. The top finial on the cap is going to be a matte deep blue, so it blends really nicely with the body color. Normally this finial is going to be black on the All-Star regular editions, so it's a subtle kind of unique feature that I like on this pen. They've chosen black accents on the other trim pieces like the body finial, the trim ring, the clip, and the nib. It's very stealthy. I like it. It gives a dark mystique to the whole pen. Now in some of the more recent special edition All-Stars, they've been playing around with different contrasting grip colors like on the aubergine and the denim that they released earlier in 2025. However, on Dark Dusk, they went with more of a complementary grip color. Regular edition All-Stars normally have a translucent smoke grip, but they've gone with a really dark midnight blue with just a slight hint of translucency on this pen. I love this color, and LAMY, if you're listening, I think it'd be wonderful to see this grip color in a future Safari or Vista. For what my opinion's worth, let me know if you all agree with me in the comments on that one. Now I went through my rather extensive and growing LAMY collection to find some other colors that I thought would be helpful to compare, in this video color-wise to the Dark Dusk to sort of give you an idea of how it stacks up. All right, so we have Dark Dusk versus Dark Dusk here. And you can see the colors really look pretty different. The Safari version, I mean, not only is it shinier because it's that, shiny plastic, but it's much more blue. Like the Dark Dusk All-Star really leans pretty heavy on the purple side. Finial and stuff, they went sort of matchy-matchy on both of them, which I like, but on the Safari, they went with a blue clip, and they did a black one here. I like the black, though. I like the black accents, so I don't mind that. You get the finial there, and then on the grips, just a standard matching grip, and they did do a matching trim ring on the Safari version, and it has a silver nib, which is interesting. So it's not a black trim on the Safari, but it is black on the All-Star, so they went black nib, black clip, which I like. And then it's so hard to see the translucence of the All-Star because it's so dark, so opaque, but it does have that like deep blue purple kind of color. It looks awesome. LAMY All-Star Black Purple. All right, so this is it looks more like a maroon kind of color compared to Dark Dusk. You got the silver accents. This is a regular edition, so you've got that standard black finial like I mentioned earlier, as opposed to the blue one that matches on the Dark Dusk. And then looking at the grips, standard grip on this one. This is that translucent smoke grip that you are familiar with if you have a bunch of All-Stars, and silver nib on this one, but you can see how it compares to the Dark Dusk. I like the Dark Dusk. It feels more special. LAMY All-Star Aubergine. So the Aubergine definitely looks like a lighter grayer kind of color. Slight hint of purple to it. But, this really looks vibrant and purple compared to Aubergine. Aubergine's got that color pop with the neon yellow there. And then the grip on the Aubergine too just kind of screams. So you can see just overall, the color scheme is a little more cohesive and consistent as opposed to the aubergine, which was meant to be, a little more dramatic. But, they're both available. So depending on which one you like, you can get your preference. LAMY All-Star Black. All right, so this was a special edition years ago, I think 2013, and then they brought it back as a regular edition. So the black is a regularly available pen. It's all stealthed out with black everything, but this gives you a sense of like how much color there is to dark dusk as opposed to the black. It's still a pretty dark color. The black looks nice and stealthy too. But there you go. You can see a little bit of that purple over there on the grip when the light hits it right. But yeah, there you go. I thought it'd be helpful, even though it's not the same color, just to show how dark it is. LAMY Safari Dark Lilac. So dark lilac is another dark purple. Of course, it's a safari. It's got a matte finish. This is a special edition from 2016. Not been available for quite some time, but it was a hugely popular color. This has got the black accents on it as well. Black top finial. And then, it's a safari, so it's got a matching grip there, black accents as well, but gives you a little bit of a sense of, that there is some blue to this. When you show it next to like a true deep purple, you do see the blue, but when you hold it up against other things, it almost looks just pure purple. LAMY Safari Steel Black. So this is another regular edition that Lamy added last year. It looks almost black, but it's got a hint of blue to it. So I thought that would be a helpful comparison maybe to see next to Dark Dusk. Really makes it seem more purple because again, you've got like mostly kind of a black, a little bit bluish tone there. And then you've got black clip, black accents on this one as well. But yeah, a little bit different, a little bit, it looks a little nicer in my opinion, but both great pens. LAMY All-Star Ocean Blue. All right, this is a very blue pen and you can see, just how kind of leaning purple that the Dark Dusk is compared to this ocean blue. This is a regular edition, one of my favorite colors of all time because it's very much a Goulet blue. Again, standard smoke grip, silver nib. This is like the epitome of a regular edition All-Star, and then you can see how the Dark Dusk compares to it. Dark Dusk doesn't come with a matching Lamy ink, unfortunately, but there's a lot of other bluish kind of purple colors out there that I think will work really well. So there's no shortage of choices. Lamy Dark Lilac 2024. Now this is gonna be more of a dark purple. It's gonna have a bit more pink to it than the pen does, but it's a great ink and it's an easy recommend and it's Lamy branded. So, I had to kind of throw this one in there. Diamine Eclipse. So this is gonna be a deep, deep purple ink that's gonna match really nicely to kind of the midnight purpley kind of thing that this has going on. Robert Oster Black Violet. This is gonna be another deep purple ink, very similar to Eclipse. Robert Oster Deep Purple. This one's gonna be kind of similar to Black Violet, but even darker and even more saturated in color if you really wanna go like as dark and stealthy as possible. Ferris Wheel Press Auroralis 2024 Special Edition. Now this ink may not be around too much longer. It was a special edition that came out last year. I don't know how long it's gonna be around, but it's a nice dark purple and it's got some pink shimmer to it, which is kind of cool if you're looking for something a little bit different. Monteverde Elephant. It's yet another deep saturated purple that I think matches really nicely, and it comes in a smaller bottle. It's a little more affordable, so it's a decent option too. Diamine Raise a Glass. Now this is gonna be the wildest of the bunch here. It's got shimmer, heavy sheen, and some color shifting properties they call chameleon. So it's gonna be a dark purple base, but if you wanna, get it to match the pen, but then also have some really wild properties that make the ink look very interesting as you write with it, this one might be worth a look. Now, of course, we have full bottles of all these, but you can get ink samples too. We offer that on all these inks so that you can test out, as many different ones as you want to see what matches perfectly for you. Now, Dark Dusk is gonna be available for the same price as all other Lamy All-Stars, which is $47 MSRP, and we'll have it for $37.60 over at Goulet Pens. It doesn't come with a converter. It's a Lamy proprietary cartridge that comes with it, but if you want to pay an additional $6, you can live that ink bottled life. I highly recommend it. And the global launch is going to be July 29th, 2025. We're launching this video a few days early. So if you're seeing it before that date, make sure to go sign up for email notifications so you know as soon as the pen's available. And if you're watching it after that date, you can go pick one up right now at Goulet Pens. Now, these are going to be special editions, so they won't be available indefinitely, but they'll be around for a little bit. So, give it a year or so. So I would, maybe add it up to your list, but you don't have to like drop everything and go get it. But, you don't like have to go buy it right now, but I think you should. Why not? And pick up another couple of pens while you're there too. Why not? I mean, that's kind of why I'm here, right? Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our other videos. We have thousands of videos of just about everything you can think of related to fountain pens. Thank you so much for watching, and right on.